30 feet that way is a cop sitting on the side of the road. But this looks sick. Alright. There's a police officer posted up literally 30 yards that way. He's literally right down this road. On that road to the right, he's right in front of these buildings.
Tucked away in the hills of New England lies a place frozen in time. What was once filled with voices, laughter, cries, and footsteps is now nothing more than broken windows, empty halls, and echoes of a painful history. The Laconia State School was built with the promise of care and progress. Instead, it became a place of confinement, neglect, and suffering. Today, it stands a haunting reminder of a past that society would rather forget. As we step into the ruins, we are not just exploring abandoned buildings. We are walking through the lives of thousands of men, women, and children who were sent here, some for care, others simply because they were different. The institution first opened in 1903 under the name the New Hampshire School for the Feebleminded. At the time, there was a growing national belief that people with intellectual and developmental disabilities should be removed from society. Supporters claimed it was compassionate, that separating individuals would give them proper care, education, and safety. But beneath that promise was something more troubling. The school was also built on the era's belief of eugenics, which is the idea that people deemed unfit should be hidden away and prevented from passing their traits to future generations. Early records showed that the first population included children from ages 3 to early adulthood. Over time, the buildings expanded. By the 1910s, there was almost 300 residents. Over the next few decades, the school grew into a massive complex. By the 1940s, it held many hundreds of residents. It became its own self-contained community with dormitories, classrooms, barns, workshops, laundry facilities, and auxiliary buildings. On the surface, it seemed efficient, but in reality, this was a machine designed to manage people, often at the cost of their humanity. The population wasn't limited to those with developmental disabilities. Children from poor families, orphans, people struggling with mental health challenges, and some individuals judged different by society often ended up here. Many were placed here permanently. Walking through the dormitories, you can see rows of beds lined up from wall to wall. Residents slept side by side with little to no privacy. Here, the mornings began early. Meals were served in a large dining hall where hundreds would eat together in silence. Food was simple and plain. Sometimes it was scarce. Work dominated much of life here. Residents worked in laundry rooms, kitchens, and on the grounds. Some also worked in other institutional work. For the institution, this labor helped keep it running. For residents, it was expected, a constant routine of chores with very little choice. Education was minimal. Some children attended basic classes, but many were assigned to work crews by their early teens. Opportunities for learning and growth were limited here. The system often perpetrated dependency rather than independence. Medical care was one of the most controversial aspects of the school. On paper, residents had access to doctors and nurses, but in reality, treatments were often outdated, inconsistent, or neglectful. Staff shortages were documented. Nurses and practitioner positions frequently unfilled. Some residents reported being physically abused, slapped, kicked, hair pulled. In one well-documented personal account, a former resident named Roberta Gallant said that she was slapped and kicked, and her hair was pulled, and suffered worse treatment, including burns from cigarettes. There was also a powerful film named Help Wanted, made by a parents' advocacy group called Great Bay, which showed the outside world what life inside the school had become. The film exposed broken toilets, overtaxed laundry, lack of personal space or possessions, and generally poor living conditions. Abuse and neglect began coming into the spotlight more steadily in the mid 20th century. Overcrowding was severe, and hygiene was poor. The staff were overworked and often undertrained. Many speak of emotional neglect and isolation. By the 1970s, families and advocacy groups were pressed for reform. Lawsuits were filed. A judge ordered the institution to reduce population and provide least restrictive care possible. By the 1980s, population had fallen, and in 1991, the Laconia State School closed permanently. Residents were relocated, and the campus was abandoned. Walking the grounds today is like stepping into another world. Nature creeps in through broken walls and windows. Trees grow where beds once stood. Silence hangs in the air, broken only by the wind through shattered windows. Every hallway tells a story. Every peeling wall, every rusted bed frame, every broken door carries the weight of the people who once lived here. For some, this place was a childhood. For others, a place of punishment. For many, it was the last place they ever knew. The Laconia State School is more than an abandoned campus. It is a symbol of how society's failures can be hidden behind brick walls. It's a reminder of what happens when compassion is replaced with control, and care is replaced with neglect. Today, the ruins stand silent, overtaken by time and nature. But silence does not erase memories. The stories of the people who lived here deserve to be remembered. Exploring places like this isn't just about abandoned buildings. It's about facing history, no matter how uncomfortable it may be. If you guys have made it this far in the video, I just want to stop for a second and ask if you could make sure to hit subscribe and hit that like button for me. It's free, it helps me with the algorithm, and it helps promote my videos so I can get closer to doing this full time and I can quit my job. So please help me out, hit subscribe and like. I appreciate you guys. We'll get right back into the video. Physical fitness test scorecard.
over.
Thank you for joining me on this journey. If you want to see more explorations into forgotten history, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Until next time, this has been another chapter in the story of America's abandoned past.